we are in this Amrit Kal, how about people would be learning in 2047?
This is an interesting question, and I don't know how intelligent one can be with this, because whenever you think about science fiction works with what we know, right? We can only project from what we know. We can't project from what we don't know. And if we create a vision of the future that is so disconnected from what we know, then it becomes merely outlandish. It appeals to nobody. So I'll try and answer your question with the handicap that I can only think with what I know, right? So the first thing would be that right now, I think for me, the most important thing is to try and come to terms with the possibilities of artificial intelligence, right? To move from the aggregative forms that were existed earlier to the more agentive forms, as they're putting it. Right, earlier, as you know, in ChatGPT and so on, it's not creative. It just summons up everything that is there and distills it for you in the space of a second.
Hmm.
So how do I engage with artificial intelligence intelligently, not merely with this dyspepsia, this is nonsense and this is curtailing human intelligence and creativity and so on, where I have to think about artificial intelligence as enabling my work and enabling me to proceed further. So, for example, a lot of the routine stuff that I do when I write papers, the referencing and so on, now it's all can be done for me. Right? And so it leaves me with less of the boredom of research and more of the creativity. So I think by 2047, hopefully, we'll have arrived at a stage where we are engaging with artificial intelligence to imagine new scenarios, to think and create more knowledge, creating a knowledge that is different from what we already possess. Secondly, I think to go back to your first question, I would like to imagine that given this, that students will be generating the disciplines that they are taught, right?
Hmm.
That students are able to then, through an engagement with the possibilities of AI, through the possibilities of using their cell phones and so on to record what is around them, to record life rather than something that is incarcerated or buried in a text, in a textbook, that it becomes a much more live enterprise, that the classroom becomes a much more mobile category, right?
Hmm.
And I mean mobile in the sense of a pun as well, right? That students are saying, bringing to the classroom knowledge that they are able to generate from what is around them, of inequality, of beauty, or whatever it is. And finally, I think where we realize that, as I said, good knowledge must drive out bad. How do we get there? And we learn how to be in the world, not where education, hopefully, in the future will be not just about gathering more and more and more information. Right?
Hmm.
Like you find a lot of people saying, Acha, हमने जो BA में पढ़ा था, आप class 12 में पढ़ रहे हैं. That's not progress.